Timberline Resources in the news today. Timberline trades as TLRS in the OTCQB in the States and TBR in the Toronto Venture Exchange. They announced an approval at Lookout Mountain JV with PM&G. They also closed a financing. With me now, President and CEO Steve Osterberg. Hey, Steve, appreciate the time and update. Some double good news here for the company. Let's talk about that JV, of course, with PM&G first.
Yes, happy to, Rob, and thank you very much for the update here. Yes, we announced this morning what we believe to be very significant news for the company. We have been working for a couple of months now on what we previously announced in a letter of intent as a joint venture with a group called PM and Gold Incorporated. PM&G is a private company based in Nevada-based, and they're very interested in securing assets, particularly in the U.S., that can be advanced aggressively towards production. And our Lookout Mountain project has been in Timberline's portfolio for several years. Most of the work was done on it back in 2010 through 2013. With the difficult markets, we really have not done any additional drilling since late 2014 on Lookout Mountain. So the joint venture really is just a part of our larger Eureka property package. It allows us to keep the Windfall asset ourselves and continue to move that forward. But it is focused on Lookout Mountain in addition to an adjacent piece of the Oswego target area that we did some work on last year as well. The agreement is fundamentally an earn-in joint venture deal where PM&G can earn a 51% ownership position in Lookout Mountain by spending $6 million over the next 2 years. And they are obligated to spend at least $3 million in year one. And in fact, we have a budget established right out the gate here, which we will trigger work on next week, where we'll spend upwards to $2.5 million before 2019 is finished or into early 2020. Much of that will be drilling. We have about 27 or 28,000 feet budgeted for drilling there. And the focus in this first stage of $6 million spending for 51% is really to advance the existing NI 43-101 resource, which is 508,000 ounces in measured and indicated and another 141,000 in inferred. But we intend to go in and advance and focus on a high-grade component of the measured and indicated. Our work of last year, which largely included a geological reevaluation of that high-grade core, and we've come to the conclusion, particularly with the input of one of our directors, Dave Matheson, who is a world-class Carlin expert, but we come to recognize that this high-grade core is really likely part of a different system than the major low-grade resource that we have. So we're going in, we're going to focus on that. Some of that mineralization comes right to the surface within the old historic pit, and we will focus on advancing that by expanding the resource. And then the deal also provides for a second stage where after the 51% ownership, if Timberline chooses to not participate on a pro rata basis, and we have that option, PM&G can advance the project to feasibility over a subsequent 3-year period after the first 2-year period, and they earn 70% at that point by bringing the project fully through a bankable feasibility study. And at that point, we would have the option to participate again. We fully expect that we will be participating at the 49% level after stage 1, based on what we're seeing so far. So we expect this first phase of work again to be triggered. I'm actually headed for the field tomorrow, and we will be triggering that first phase. Our contractors and consultants are lined up and in the queue to be at Eureka. So we expect a lot of work this fall. In addition to the drilling, there will be a fairly major induced polarization geophysical survey, which will help us to expand resource, and then we'll bring it up through hopefully by late year, early 2020, an updated resource calculation 43-101. So very exciting for us after a long time of not having the capital to really advance Lookout Mountain. We will be very aggressive over the next 2 years.
Okay, and as we talked about, a little bonus with the financing. They participate a little there. Why don't you lay out that part of it?
Yes, that's the other really excellent part of this package as well. Concurrent with closing and with receiving regulatory approval on the joint venture agreement, PM&G is also taking a 4.99% position in Timberline. So that actually brings us a bit of cash into the treasury as well, and helps us on a corporate basis and with our other projects. So really good news on two fronts for us, and we're very excited to have this thing finally finalized and ready to have a very busy rest of the field season.
Okay, that's Steve Osterberg. He's President and CEO, Timberline Resources, TLRS, OTCQB, TBR on the Toronto Venture Exchange. Hey, Steve, appreciate that update, and certainly look forward to checking back and you start getting some work done.
Thank you so much. We'll be talking soon.